Hi again. In the subsection, The Kingdom of God, Barbour and Russell, page 167 of Three Worlds, say this: although the church in its mortal state represents the kingdom of God, that kingdom is not set up or organized. The natural first and afterwards the spiritual. Under the old covenant, while all was on the plane of the fleshly church was an organized kingdom. But under the gospel, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a nobleman who committed certain trust to his servants, went into a far country to receive a kingdom and to return. Hence, thy kingdom come means thy kingdom be set up or organized as a ruling power. But it is not to be on the plane of the flesh, which would be going backwards. Hence the kingdom is organized only when this mortal shall have put on immortality. You see how this is setting up for the 1914 parousia, the kingdom being set up in heaven, but not yet visibly on earth. Of course, the date's there, but the embarrassment hasn't happened yet. The idea that the change would occur on earth in 1914 has to be changed to, no, not on earth, but in heaven. Hence the kingdom, Barbour says, is organized only when this mortal shall have put on immortality. In other words, when all of us, the special anointed, the 144,000, are in heaven. He that keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, even as my Father has given to me. And this end does not mean death, for at death we do not get power over the nations. If the reader has the true idea of the kingdom, that now, in its preparatory state, it is represented by the church, in which are found both good and bad, and that when the kingdom is set up or organized on the spiritual plane, the bad will be eradicated, and that this occurs at the second advent of Christ, when the nobleman returns, he is prepared to understand some of the events of the harvest upon which we have now entered, as brought to view in the parable of the tares and the wheat. That's Matthew 13. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. The tares are the children of the wicked one. The harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the angels. In the end of the age, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and gather out of his kingdom, that is the church, he intrudes that word, all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom. And then he inserts in a bracket, church of the firstborn. In kingdom, church of the firstborn of their father. Many suppose this involves the burning of the world, because he gathers out of his kingdom all things that offend. It is the tares he gathers out of his kingdom. The field is the world, the cosmos, world of mankind, and the seed is sown in their hearts. But the tares are not the world. They are the children of the wicked one, while the world of mankind, the Adamic family, are the sons of God, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. He's quoting from Luke here. Adam means the first man, the natural, and Jesus Christ was the second man, not the 10,000. And Adam, as the earthly man, with his race, is as truly the Son of God as is Christ, the heavenly man. They are the two orders, first the natural man and afterwards the spiritual man. If the reader prefers to change both the language of the parable and the interpretations of Christ, rather than to renounce his previous ideas, I can only say I am not writing for such men. The world are neither wheat nor tares. They are simply material, as ground in which both good and bad seed may be sown. Hence, all that the work of the harvest demands is to gather out of the many who have been called under the gospel, the bad fish, the foolish virgins, the tares, and then to glorify the sanctified church. And let everyone remember that those who are in darkness, in relation to the coming of the day of the Lord, when that day comes, will be overtaken as a thief, and are therefore not the children of light, whatever may be their professions as to godliness, or as to what they have done for Christ. Again, total confusion, and that's going to be manifest by 1914, when of course the saints, as Barbour and Russell see them, are still on earth. And here we are now 107 years later, and the saints, or many of even the 144,000 by Barbour and Russell and Rutherford's light, are still with us. So all of this, of course, this idea of a kingdom that would come in judgment and rule with a rod of iron is dependent upon the date, 1914, when that was all supposed to happen. Next time, the two-horned beast. We'll put a link into our discussion from the playlist, Why J.W. Org Will Fall and the Church Will Stand, our discussion of the parable of the sower, followed by discussion of the wheat and the tares. So that's 4 videos. I'll put the first on your screen.